Welcome to the Spiritual Principles Made Practical podcast. I'm your host, Scott Friedman, and today I'm inspired to share about the fear of accepting more of my power. And it's a surprise that that came up in meditation because I wouldn't have thought that I was afraid of uh, my power, right? And if I did, I thought that, the fear would be that I would misuse it. But as I meditated on that, it was like, no, 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 you're afraid of the power itself. And so in this podcast, I'm hoping to be present enough to be able to allow whatever that fear and the understanding that goes with it are uh, to come forward and to be healed through acceptance. Because certainly I feel my body, being uncomfortable with that and wanting to overeat to try to ward it off somehow. And so it's all a bit confusing to me, but I'm going to take my best shot at it here. And and that's the first thing that I realize is that my body's going like, oh no, oh no, oh no, and it's not that. I'm trying to think, is it that, I mean, the question that's going to mind is my body worried about the physical changes that will take place as I have a greater acceptance and alignment with the truth of the infinite power of my mind, which I mean, basically we all have the infinite power of our minds, right? But it's like, okay, where does that resistance come from acknowledging and accepting that power? And certainly, I can feel in my body, I can feel panic about the power, and but I don't understand the thought that is creating that panic. And I think it's just maybe it's my self-image of who I am that is going to change so dramatically as I accept and utilize the power of my mind. And I'm sort of hearing in my mind's eye, yeah, that's it, is that my um, familiar identity is going to go away, or at least be changed significantly as I accept and relate to and start to use the more and more and more of the power of my mind. I'm already sort of intellectually on board that our minds are all powerful and that they create all that and they create everything in the differentiated world, which is most of what we call the world. And so I mean, I'm okay with the thought, but allowing myself to feel that and relate to it, uh, as uh, there's fear of what I'm giving up in terms of my self-image. And it's just maybe more it's just fear of the unknown, maybe, that I don't know what it's going to be like to live, if you will, in conscious awareness of this greater power, and that that somehow or another I'm going to lose my identification with who I have always been. But my self-image, that I relate to is, I mean, it's kind of crazy because I mean it's changed a lot, right? I'm no longer a child. I'm no longer a teenager. I'm no longer a young adult, right? I mean, it's like, but all of those identifications are with time, right? It's like age is part of time, and and now I'm gonna be the more that I accept the power of my mind, the more that I let go of the constructs of time. Because accepting my power, the power of my mind, is resulting in me moving beyond my mind in a lot of areas. And when I move beyond my mind, I move outside of time. And so I think that it's like, I think there's maybe part of my mind or part of me that thinks that um, I don't know how to behave and relate without time. Maybe that's it. I'm hearing a yes, that's it. That fear is that, how do I relate to being without time? And that would be, and I mean, we always talk about, living in the eternal present, but it's like, okay, what is, what does that mean? And certainly I know what it is to be in the zone, but mostly only by reflection from when I'm out of the zone, right? Because when I'm in the zone, I'm not thinking, right? So I only think upon reflection when I'm out of the zone, and that only happens with time. So I guess the fear is I just don't know what it's going to be like as I as I accept more of the power of my mind and move beyond my mind increasingly, and don't have the same relationship with time that I've had. And I think that's what I'm hearing is that I'm I'm afraid of what life is going to be like without relating to time, at least not in the way that I have historically. So, it's so funny because I say historically, and the first thing that comes to my mind, there's time again. And there's a certain fear that only exists, with time. So anyway, that's what I've been inspired, to talk about today and to accept is that there's a real fear within me of the unknown, of accepting my mind more fully, and as I accept my mind more fully, I accept more fully the idea that time only exists when my mind creates it. And that just seems spooky to me. Even though intellectually I know that, I mean, my best times are when I'm outside of time, right? When I'm experiencing love, I'm not in time. When I'm experiencing joy, when I'm experiencing spontaneity, I'm not in time. So I mean, I know that all the great stuff that happens is outside of time. So intellectually, I've got no problem with it, but boy, I'm telling you, there's part of me emotionally that is just afraid to let go of time, at least the way that I've used time in the past. And that seems to be the most that I'm able to allow to flow through me in terms of wisdom that helps. And so I'm going to just go with that. I know that accepting that I'm afraid of how my relationship to time is changing just because I don't know. Just saying that, I do feel more relaxed and I do feel more at peace. So I do feel that there has been some acceptance and healing as a result of that acceptance of the fear of letting go of my historical relationship with time. And wow, my whole body's just relaxing. Wow. Well, that tells me that that's really what I needed to do. And again, I want to appreciate myself for having the spiritual tools to heal through acceptance, and allow my body to relax and to more fully relate to and accept the power of my mind. So that's kind of there. For coaching, if you're interested in that, contact me at scottfriedman40@gmail.com. You see the email address up there on the screen. And my books are available on Amazon. You can find links to them on my website, www.thoughtcoachingbyscott.com. And let me just ask my higher self if there's anything else that I need to allow to come through to heal at this time through acceptance. And hearing a no, I'm going to end this podcast. All right. Be well.